noches. Antes de empezar me gustaría decirles por qué estoy acá. El tema de la resiliencia llegó a mi vida por casualidad. Yo soy psicóloga, terapeuta de pareja y familia. Hace 16 años tuve una experiencia traumática en la que fui secuestrada. Y en algún momento venimos a oír mi historia, pero les tengo que decir por qué creo en la resiliencia. En algún momento de mi captura, cuando me pusieron un arma y me iban a matar, me hice dos preguntas. Si fue el último minuto de mi vida, ¿qué me faltó por vivir? Y si salgo viva, ¿qué haría diferente? Ahí prometí que si salía viva, iba a dedicar el resto de mi vida profesional a ayudar a la gente a recuperarse del trauma. Y como salí viva, gracias a Dios, me fui a Israel, hice una especialidad en el Centro de Trauma de Jerusalén con el doctor de 5 años, y regresando tuve la oportunidad de que me contactaron del gobierno para formar 2 clínicas de trauma que siguen vigentes. Trabajamos gratuitamente los 365 días del año, atendiendo principalmente feminicidios, desaparecidos, violencia y secuestros. Yo estoy a cargo de las clínicas, yo las coordino, y hoy, además de querer hacer unas preguntas y tener una charla, quisiera hablar sobre la importancia de la resiliencia como la capacidad no solo de recuperarnos de un trauma, sino de recuperar nuestra vida, de volver a encontrar un paranque, un sentido en la vida. Y bueno, por eso estoy aquí, y entonces quisiera no ocupar más tiempo, sino empezar a conversar y hacer unas preguntas que creo que para todos son muy importantes. Quiero decirles, hasta donde yo sé hoy, que hay muy pocos centros de trauma y de resiliencia en el mundo. Me llama muchísimo la atención esta clínica de resiliencia, porque es difícil creer en que existe esta capacidad humana en verdad de recuperarnos de la adversidad. Yo tengo testimonios muy interesantes de mujeres de feminicidios, historias terribles que lo han hecho, pero ahora me gustaría hablar de esta importancia en un lugar como Sderot y poder tener una charla. I would like to ask you some questions, both of you. As a father, how has been to live there? And as a major for 10 years, where instead of seeking to have more benches to a park or painting the city, how do you feel commitment to the citizen of Central?
First, before I answer, I want to say thank you very much that you invite me to Mexico and to give me a chance to speak a little about the story of Sderot. Wow, you asked me about to be a mayor of Sderot and to be a father in Sderot. Maybe you need to ask my daughter, Avia. But I feel a great honor to be a person that leadership city, especially a city like Sderot, but because you know that, like your life, we want to live. We want to have a good life to ourselves, and especially for the next generation to get a better world. And because we are so closer to Gaza, we are almost 1 kilometer from Gaza, and you know, we talk about the conflict about I don't know to say Palestine, because the Gaza people, especially not the simple people, because I don't hate the people that live in Gaza. Actually, my father and my mother, the citizens of Sderot, many years ago, they go and visit Gaza, buy in Gaza, but unfortunately, because the regime there, the Jihad and the Hamas that control Gaza, and they decide to use with the violence, especially to use with a lot of, to develop a lot of system of weapon. And you know, Avia, she's one of my daughters. I have 5 daughters and 2 boys. If there is anyone that want to marry someone, this is the time. But Avia, she's 20, and Avia born to this situation. You know, you hear the sirens and you see the movie. It's you see the children have the people have just 15 seconds to save their life every time that they hear the sirens. So Avia, I think that she gets something like 12,000 times to be under this situation. And I read the reason that you come to this about the post-trauma. I read the story about the kidnap. So this is a post-trauma. This is something that's happened in the past. It's finished, but you remember this in your mind, and it's always come back. In the situation in Sderot, it's not a post-trauma. It's ongoing. Like example, just 3 weeks ago, they sent more than 1,000 rockets, and you know, maybe when you hear it far away from you, imagine in your neighborhood, someone throw 1,000 rockets. Imagine that yourself here need to run to another room 10 times in one day, 100 times in the one day. Just in the last operation, the children of Sderot need to hide in the shelter, in the bomb shelter, more than 7 days. So this is very, very tough situation, but I'm so happy to say that Sderot is not a sad story. Sderot is a story about hero, about Zions, about people that believe and love the states of Israel, people that knows that if they will say we can't, so the next time will be Ashkelon, the next time will be Ashdod, the next time will be Tel Aviv, and the next time will be in Mexico. And the next time the people will, the jihad and the Hamas, this regime that believe that they need to kill Jewish because we are just Jewish, because they really don't know me. They not, you know, the rocket that they send to Sderot and the old area, they cannot say that it will come to my house or to another house. They just throw it because they want to do something against the states of Israel. And for one side, it's very, very tough. But I think that we create a very, very strong community. We always growing up. Just in the last 10 years, we almost doubled the town. We built a lot of house. I say that it's like 90% of paradise, but 10% of hell. And every time that we get another rocket, I'm afraid about the citizen, because I live in Sderot more than 25 years. And you know, I get used to it. I'm sorry to say it, because I think that no one need to be used to it, that someone want to kill them every day. But the problem is that many of the citizens, the new family that decide to move into Sderot, is in the dangerous. Not just the dangerous that the rocket will hit the house that they live there. They are in dangerous because they are not used to it. And I'm afraid that everyone will left the town. So because that we are focused with the people that suffer from the post-trauma, because that we established the Resilience Center of Sderot, and because that the needs that we need to help them is always going up. Because if 10 years ago I had 20,000 people, now we have 35,000 people. The system of the education, the schools, we built a few new schools, a lot of new garden for children. So we have a lot of job, we have a lot of needs. But I think that in the end, Sderot is a good story and a wonderful story about people that decide that even though it's tough, they want to continue to stay, to grow, and to grow in a new generation like Avia and their sister and all the children of the teenagers of Sderot. I give you a longer story. I don't have, I'm afraid that you will be in post-trauma after I
In that clinic about resilience, what do you give specific treatments, programs to therapies? Could you tell us a little about that specific, because it's something very, it's not, I would like not to say unusual, but there is not many places in the world that have such a program and such a clinic. I'm very proud and would like to know a little bit about it.
I can give you a personal example. I said that I have 5 children, 5 daughters. The last one, we call her Emunah. Emunah is faith, to believe. And now she is 12 years old. She's wonderful, beautiful, and make our life crazy. But beside that, when she been 4 years old, she started to suffer from the symptom of post-trauma. Like example, she don't want to go outside. She always catch my leg when we go outside from the house. She was afraid from everything, sleep with us. Even that we have 7 kids, we want to sleep together, me and my wife. But it was very tough, not just for us, like the parents, for Emunah. And you know that when you are like me, 50 years old, so if I have a problem, if I need to talk with someone, I sit in the couch or something, speak with the psychologist. But what you are doing with a small child, 4 years old, what you can say to her? That she has a problem, that she has the problem. So we create a new system to work with little children. We create a place, that a center of animals inside Sderot. We use with dogs, rabbits, and even snake. A lot of animals. And I remember that Emunah, she was not the first child that get this treatment, but she get 2 years of treatment every day, every week, for 2 hours. She worked with dogs, and the therapist teach Emunah to speak about her fear, her behave, and she always say to her, you know, Emunah, look about the dog. Maybe the dog is a fighter. Maybe the dog need help. So what was so amazing with this program, that even she get a treatment more than 2 years. If you ask Emunah, my daughter, after 2 years, Emunah, why go to this place? She don't say that she get a treatment. She say, me, Emunah, now I know to teach the dog how to behave. I'm a trainer of dog. We have a big problem after that because we need to adopt a dog. And then is the dog Mocha. And you know, I don't know if Emunah, after a few years, now, she's not afraid from rocket. She's afraid from rocket. I myself afraid from rocket. But I remember one evening of Saturday, after the Kiddush, Emunah and Miriam, my old daughter, go outside. And in this moment, they have the sirens start to shout Tzeva Adom, red color. And Emunah and my daughter Miriam don't find a shelter very close to them, a bomb shelter. And they see a dog there. And Emunah, the daughter of me that so afraid from rockets, when she come back, she said that when the sirens start to shouting, she go and hug the dog and protect the dog from the rocket. So So this is a good example how to use with the problem to make it like a challenge and to make emunah not just to finish with the post-trauma. I think that emunah, she is stronger now. Because it's always happened in our life. Someone fired us from a job. Someone has some problem, a medical problem in the family. We are not always have a good life. We have a lot of problem in our life. So I think that this is the same. Our problem is the security problem. It's the problem of terror. But I think that if you work with people and help them to know that if they will not talk about themselves and not think about themselves, think about the another person, the weaker than you can be better. So this is one program. We have program with dancing. We have program with music. We had a lot of program. Just the principle is to go inside the heart of the person and the head and the mind of the person. Take the fear outside and deal with that. But it's a big problem. I think that you cannot find any family in Sderot that no one suffers from post-trauma. I myself suffer from post-trauma one time. My trauma is that I hear that Billie Eilish, what the name of the singer? Billie Eilish. So we have a singer, popular singer in Israel, and I need to cancel concert that we made in Sderot with 5,000 people in the middle of the concert because they shoot rockets. And just to see 5,000 people try to find place to hide, for me it's destroyed my heart. I remember it's happened a few years ago. I need to go to get a treatment for 3 days. I go to the north just to relax. So this is my private story and my private trauma. Because that I always cancel concert just in this. We have a singer, his name is Hanan Ben-Ari. He's a very popular in the... So we need to cancel the concert in Pesach. We need to cancel the concert 1 month ago, but thanks to God, we do it 2 weeks ago. So this is the challenge we have. We always need to wait and to see what will happen. It's very tough, but this is it.
Now I would like to ask you, Maria, one question. I understand that you have 15 seconds from the alarm to the missile exploding. So the movement to the bunkers must be very fast. How do you teach that, or how do they teach you that, or the children, how they experience it? Or you born with that sign inside, something common to do?
Well, when I was born, I never thought Sderot was dangerous. Like I could be killed from it, because my parents and my siblings always give me the experience that if you're running now to the shelter, it's for fun or it's like a competition. I remember I have 2 big brothers, and they always tease me and tell me, you have to get there first. If you didn't get there first, we're gonna do that. And when you think about it, like right now, I think, how did I didn't get traumatized, like, since I was little. Now I have some problems that I see my little siblings like having problems. But even in my gut, when I was in the kindergarten, yeah, we have a song to run to the shelter, and in the shelter we will do a dance. So think about it, like 6 gardens in one city, and everybody like ran to the shelter, and then they started like jumping and singing, and they're having like a great time. And they feel like a hero. When you get the experience that there is a danger, but you're holding it, and you've been like a hero, and you're dealing with it with all of your friends and with your teacher. It's not like you are the only one who is afraid or the only one who's running. Everybody is with you. Think about it, the power that society and everybody around you give you, it's amazing. And even if you fall when you're running, somebody will take you, somebody will help you. So even if one time I was outside and we didn't have a shelter, and we've been a group of friends, but immediately in the minute it started, we just jumped on each other and hugged each other. And we know there is a risk, we know that something could happen, but knowing that you have people around you, that somebody protects you, that it's gonna be fine. This is the thing that helps you. The running to the shelter, it's the moment that everybody together, holding each other. I think this experience is something that no rocket or any danger can deal with.
You know that is the first time I hear we are talking about it, so I don't never think that I need to go to Mexico to hear Avia. And the second I so afraid because I have election in October and there's no one that want to go against me. Now I hear Avia talk, I'm so afraid. So maybe Avia will stay in Mexico.
So, after listening what you told now, I want to ask you, how do you ensure that the city's infrastructure and emergency response systems are resilient enough to protect the population? Is just the shelters, or is just about the resilient program, or what other things you do to preserve?
We have two challenges in Sderot. One is that Sderot is like a big shelter. You can find Sderot. You can find everything need to be with a shelter, with a bomb shelter. Like example, just last month we opened the first protected mikveh of women, that the women need to go to the mikveh, that the women that have the tradition to go there. Imagine that some woman that used to go to a mikveh and she under attack more than 2 weeks. And think what's happened to her and to the husband. We build it like everything is protected. So the cost is almost double. So we get help from the government, especially for schools. But to build it protected. But many buildings, we need to raise the support to do it, because that I find myself many times outside from the country and inside the country, talk with organizations, talk with people that want to be part of this mission. This is the first. The second, that my job is, you remember the movie that you see? It's a bad movie, because it shows that all the stress. So my job is to stand here and to say, look people, forget from this movie, I want to show you another movie, a good movie. And what's the meaning of good movie? The meaning is that we create a lot of programs that work with the community. Like example, every new building that we have in Sderot, 50 new families that come to the city, we want them to know each other. We want them to work with someone that live in the apartment. It's not just about security and emergency time. It can be that if the woman, she's a pregnant and she needs help, if someone sick, you know, in the COVID, the corona, we was the best city that know to work with the corona, because we know what the means to be stuck in the house. The means that people cannot go outside. So my job and my team and the municipality, we always create many of projects with the community. In a culture, like example, if someone comes from another country and he whole person, so we don't say to him, look, you are now living in Israel and live your culture. We say, be proud of your culture. We want to learn from you. What's your culture? And it's always, the summer in Sderot, I raise a lot of money to make every day in Sderot in the summer that will be the special days, especially for the children. Because in the end, and you know, we love the army of Israel, the IDF. We always talk about the soldier. I've been an officer in the army. But I want to say to you the truth. Many officers in the army, in this day, because Israel is so strong country, never been under attack of mortal. If I will put in this room 100 officers in the IDF and I will ask them, you've been under attack of mortal? Most of them will say no. But if you take 100 children and we have 8,000 children, if you put them in a stadium and you will ask them, you've been under attack of mortal of rocket? Most of them will say yes. So because that, I think that what can I do to them is to try to make them stronger and make them happiness and make them that they will be proud to live in Sderot. I think this is the same with the resilience we talk. I remember when I started to build the resilience center of Sderot, I think that I will need to use with 2 rooms, 3 rooms. And we start to build it, and we always surprised that every operation I need to build another section and another room to help to get that the people will have a place to get the treatment.
Important thing because you can recover and be more resilient, but you need treatment. So I would like to ask you, now that you are in Mexico, and you see maybe some differences, or maybe you had friends in Jerusalem, how was your experience like growing in a place that has his own danger, own resilient need, compared to another friends? It was hard to us.
You know, I always, when I went out of my city, when I said I'm from Sderot, the kids always tell me, the city of the rockets? And it's weird, but with the eyes in their eyes. So it's like, it's very weird to think about it because people from outside, when they see it, they think it's like, it's the most dangerous thing in the world. And it is the most dangerous thing in the world. But for us, for the kids of Sderot, we have never felt like weak or even like, okay, we are vulnerable, so everybody can hate us. We felt like heroes. So for me, to be a citizen of Sderot, it's to be a hero, it's to be proud. It's like, I am the one protecting Israel. Because if someone living in the ancient city of Jerusalem, and there is a pikuah, like a terror attack, and they stay there and they live there, even though they didn't been participating of protection or did something, they actually protect everything. So for me to stay in Sderot, just living there and, you know, like volunteering, studying, make some concert, I play the piano like a lot of years in Sderot. For me to do all of this stuff and stay strong and be always with a smile and with hope, for me this is the way I protect Israel. You know, I got here and I'm working in Bet Sefer Yavne, the school of Yavne, and I told the children, like, you know, I go there and they become like, what? How did you? And I'm telling them like my story and how we do it and how And I think everybody can learn from this. Like, everybody needs to have their story. Everybody protect their family or Israel in some kind of way. Because it's difficult to live there. It's the most wonderful country to live in, but still it's hard. When I think about it from the distance, when I'm here, you know, it's funny. People ask me, like, when there is a text, all of your friends send you text like, are you okay, are you fine? And for the first time, I am the one who's sending the text to Israel, are you fine, are you okay? It's weird. It's like, I have like a group of friends that we study together, and we study like in the high school out of Sderot, in a dorm school. And every time there was an attack, everybody immediately wants to take a bus and get to the city. And you think like, you out, protect yourself. Like, why do you want to get into trouble? It's something that all of the people of Sderot have, like the community, that there is something, I want to be there. I can be in danger. I can have like a lot of, I wouldn't sleep, I wouldn't do nothing, I would be stuck in my home. But still, I want to be there. I want to be the one who running to the shelter with my sister. I want to be the one who's standing there, and if someone came and asked us, are you okay? Yes, we're okay. We're here. We don't run away. So for me, it's more like a pride, more than just a place to live in. I'm very proud and very happy that I'm living in Sderot.
How do you feel listening to your really?
Not like me, she's like my mother. First I want to say that the few days that I've been here, I start to learn about your community here in Mexico. And for me, really, it's not obvious. Because in the end, each one of the community all over the world, especially the Jewish community, have your challenge. You need to work with your community. You have, many times you have a problem. And to see how much you care about the state of Israel, how much you care about the Jews that live in Israel. Even Israel, it's a very strong country today. But I think like what, first I want to say that the tough thing that I have in Mexico in the last 2 days that I sit with Avia and another person and they start to speak Spanish. And I feel that what they say about me or what they say about another thing. But for me, that I always come to the community to speak about our needs, what we need, and what the cooperation that we need to continue to develop Sderot. This is the first time that I can say, look, I send a volunteer, the family of Davidi send a volunteer to your community, and I see the great things that Avia done in the Yavni school. And just today I come to one of the class and meet the team and to see the children, very, very smart children. I'm proud that with Avia we can show that we not just need, we can give help and give a volunteer. And you know, with the Korban, it was amazing that because our experiment about to be in emergency time, we establish, we take the resilience center and take our program and start to teach another community all over the world how to behave. You know that many times, like example, if you get, we see what's happened in Turkey after what's happened with the ground and like you say. See, Erdogan, that is very popular, always fall down because you cannot know and you cannot accept how the people will behave after emergency time, and especially an emergency time that not take 1 day or 2 days. And we met a lot of security and organization all over the world. The last moment that come to learn from us. It was the head of PIMA in the United States. It's a big organization that's in charge about all the emergency. And we sit together almost half of hour and spend our experience to teach them. Because I think that in the end, my suggest to people, and especially for leadership, and especially for Jim that work with people, it's just you always need to be in a touch with the people, not to see them, to try to understand what's happening in their mind and their heart. And beside that, you need to be active. Leadership cannot go and hide in some place. I know I'm the mayor of Sderot more than almost 10 years. I never, when I'm in the country, and when I'm in Sderot, we always, me and my team, every attack, we've been there. We come to meet the people. Many times I find myself dance like Avia said. I remember in the last operation, we come to one house that the rocket hit the house. We meet them, very old people. And the first thing that we said, we not deal with the rockets. We come to the shelter and start to dance with them and say, Am Israel Chai, Am Israel Chai. And you know, the man there he was a manager of a big organization of Sderot. And to me, to see him, I know that he's a very, very strong person, but he started to cry. So you hugged him, and we know that with this person, this is not the last time I will meet them. Day after, you need to send a volunteer to speak with them, and day after, you need to send them to the resilience center. And I think that leadership need to be very active. And I want to say something that, you know, many times, especially when I have a visitor, not a religious, not a Jewish, you know, many times that people that come from a government, from Europe, and ambassador from many countries, I'm inviting to come to Sderot and to see the people and to really hear the real story about the conflict, because you know that like I told you, I think that my job is to create a better life to the next generation. Even though the Hamas and the Jihad continue with the volume and continue to send rockets to the city of Sderot and all over the area, in the end, we have a strong government and a strong nation. I know that from our side, everything will be all right in the future. But when I see what's happened to Gaza, when I see what's happened to the people that live there, the simple people, the 60, 70, the teenager, they really destroy the future of their city, of their life. Because if they will stop the violence and start to behave like a real regime that care about the education system, the medicine system, Gaza can be a wonderful place for themselves, a wonderful place for us. You know that Israel allowed to more than 20,000 people to come every day from Gaza to work in Israel. You know, just to imagine, to me, to see after they shoot 1,000 rockets, and the last operation we get 100 rockets that landed in Sderot, and 6 hours was hit from rockets, and and the community center was hit from rockets. Just next morning, I give a job for the people that maybe one of their family sent rocket to me. So it's very, very tough situation. It's a very big conflict. But I think that in the end, I really pray every day that maybe something will change there. Because really we are not in Gaza. We are not live there. We give them back the ground. Israel do whatever we can to help them to growing up. You know that my factory of the cleans of the water, I clean the water of Gaza. You know what go to from the toilet. I will love to be to create an area of factory and hospital and university on the border of Gaza. We really want that the life there be better. But the really true, it's not depends of us. It depends of the regime that control Gaza. So until they will not change, I think that we need to continue to be the ambassador of the free world. And really we are the ambassador of free world, because to stand there and live there, it's very tough. But like Avia said, that we are proud, we are grow our children. But in the end, I think that Avia, she is a very, very strong person. She has a good mother that really teach her how to behave. But we have a lot of weak people, of weak family, that we need to give them the better and the best professional treatment and the best place to them to get a better life.
Well, I think you have given a lot of samples about what is resilience instead of traumatic experiences. It's like growing through the things you have lived. I would like to know if somebody has any question about what is resilience. I wanted to talk a little bit about resilience, but I think that you said so much things, so great samples about what is to be a resilient city. So I would like to ask just one question. If you could dream now something you really need for Sderot in this moment, what would it be?
To continue to build the resilience center. I do a lot of things of Sderot. Sderot is like I told you, if you come and I don't know if all of you been in Sderot, it's a great and wonderful, maybe the ambassador will say to you, Sderot, it's a really wonderful place. We have parks, we have a new neighborhood. I built just in mountain the last 10 years, 6,000 new apartments. But in the end, I need that, like the Torah told us, and my Zichrono Livracha, my father told me, we need to help to the people that they are weak and need help. And in the story of Sderot, the place that you can give to change a life of people is the Resilience Center. Because in the end, if someone have a problem or post-trauma and ongoing trauma, you need to help him. And the way to help them is to bring him to a wonderful and beautiful building that is protected, that it can give him the best service, and especially to change his life, because we must know, and I want to give you another example. It's personal, but I feel like, I think that you are like a part of our family, you know, the Jewish nation is, we're always together. I have a son, his name is Tzuriel. He is 22 years old. And like his brother and like his father, he's go to a command unit in the army. He go to Hasta Kravit. So, with the case of Tzuriel, my son, the post-trauma blowing when he go to the IDF. We never think that something, that Tzuriel has some problem about the situation. because he was very strong and you know, laughing and things. But maybe when you go to practice in the army, the pressure that you get there, especially in a unit of the combat unit, so they push you and make you big pressure, something blowing in his heart. And I remember that he need to practice in the army to get, its name is tironut, to be a good soldier, he need to get 3 months of practice. And so every week, when he finished the practice of the army, after, you know, when he come to Shabbat to our house, he not go direct to the house. He need to go to a meeting, to sit with therapists in the resilience center for 1 hour. He do it 3 months, and after that he don't need it was not needed, because maybe the pressure go down in his life. But in the end, my big question about my private decision, it's always if I made a good decision to join my children in Sderot. If you come to every person in Sderot, he will say that if you sit with him, start to talk and get the really things in from his heart, this is the hard question that we have always to be a parent in Sderot. I do a good decision, because I don't know when or where the pressure of the post-trauma will blow in the life of my children, like I don't know when it's happened in my personal life. It's a hard question. I don't have any good answer to this question. But yes. No, really, in the past I was very, very conflicted in myself about this question. But like I told to the children in the young school, I think that my daughter, Neria, not Avia, the old daughter, always in my birthday, say that I want to bless you, Father, that your problem became to be a challenge. And I think this is the way that we look about the reality in our town. But in the end, it's obvious to me, and because that, I don't know if many mayor come to raise support in city all over the world. I know that organization, Atzala, Magen David Ador, the IDF, a lot of organization, because organization, this is the job. This is not my job, because mayor in the end, and then maybe ambassador will say to you, mayor work with the government, mayor work with the citizen. But every time that I finish, every time after the operation or something, attack from Gaza, I look about myself and I say, look, if I can get help and can raise people, organization that say, I want to be part of this mission, I want to be part of this goal, I want to be part of this challenge, I will really fly for every place to find people that want to say to the next time that they will see a movie and hear about what's happening in Sderot, they can say, I began to be part of this mission. And so I think that if we can raise support to build the section of the Resilience Center, and we have another project about children that in a risk, that we want to build, to finish to build them a new house because they go every afternoon to there. I think this is the really goal, this is my goal.